That's what James is having. I'm having smoothie. And I'm going to be talking about this book.
We've had that.
Yeah. So this is one of my books, and it's actually not a good one. I expected a lot because it's a DK article,
Dorling Kindersley.
but it's not really that great. But I'll show you one thing in it. Pretty cute picture. Cat with his hand in the bird box. So, yeah, I'm not the only one who can't stand other people's cats in
Wiping
their
out
yard.
your birds.
Yeah, because I had house sparrows nesting in my tree this year. One of my neighbor's cats killed one of the sparrows I saw. I saw the cat packing the sparrow away, and I'm like, no!
Yeah.
Because I'd been feeding the house sparrows in the winter, when they came late winter to scope out where they were going to set up their nests and stuff. And I mean, years ago I decided I'm going to stop feeding the birds, because if I attract them, then they're just going to get killed by my neighbor's cats. And it's not fair. It's not fair that I can't let birds in my yard when I want them here. I don't want the cats in my yard, and but they're here. So I'm not the only one who's annoyed about that. It's probably a common thing with people who love birds. They just, if you want to keep your cat like on a line, put a harness on your cat and keep them on a line in your own yard, then that's fine. But I shouldn't have to have your cat killing native birds in my yard.
Or have to put up with cat scat in your garden when you're allergic to cats and allergic to their scat too.
But anyway, we don't have these here. When I was a little girl in PI, I think I was 7 years old at that point, and my dad came to get us, and he was like, come see. He was very excited. And this is what he wanted to show us. And we're looking, and we're like, what are we looking at? And he's like, look at the bird, And anyway, he was very excited about it. And at the time, I was like, it's a bird. And he's like, but you haven't seen one like this, and I've seen one that's in different colors than that. What's so special about this bird? Well, it's different. So I understand now why my dad was so excited about seeing the cardinal. But because now I get excited seeing different birds too. I mean, I like seeing all the birds. Like all the little songbirds. I get so happy just, with the house sparrows that were around. They were my friends, and my favorite birds in my yard are actually black-capped chickadees. They're so common, but I love them. I love having them around. So anyway, so I'm not quite the same that way. It's not like a bird doesn't have to be really exotic or anything to thrill me. But why now this book, I will say, it has fantastic photos. How often do you see like this, the picture of the robin feeding her, or his, I guess, I have no idea, babies. Very sweet. And there was one where I think it was a cardinal had a seed that was like in the air while the bird was like gonna put it in its mouth. So it was like, wow, what a photo to catch that. So there's all sorts of amazing photos in here. So I will say that. So if you like looking at, there it is. Oh, it was a Bohemian waxwing. There we go. But look at that picture.
Pretty impressive.
Fantastic. So there are some great pictures in here. I was very impressed with that. But that other book that I showed you was a better book than this one, and it shouldn't have been. This one I expected much more from it. And But things like James will ask me, well, what kind of song does that one make or whatever, and I'll look in here. Nope, it's not in here. Well,
Not enough content.
people want to know that, right?
Yeah.
You gotta try. And like the other one was showing me the male versus the female and this and that, and honestly, this doesn't have, as much as it has awesome photos of birds, it's not descriptive enough about each species of the birds, which it has. I do like the maps,
Yeah.
but and I like the photos. So, but that's it. I wouldn't recommend anybody buy this book. I wouldn't even recommend you borrow it from the library.
It's too bad.
Yeah, it's just not worth
When
it.
it's a bird feeder guide, you kind of expect info, right?
So anyway, that's all I have.
Yeah, I had a book to review, but I forgot to bring it up. Too much of a hurry. Hungry.
Yep. So I guess the COVID's even worse now in Texas than it had been.
Yeah.
And so it's really
We
exploding
shouldn't
there.
be laughing.
And
but
no, we shouldn't be
it's-
laughing. But
it's tragic comedy.
it's
It's Americans being Americans.
I mean, we saw this coming months ago, and
Yeah.
it's sad because it's going to spread up here. There's no way of the way things are going. You know, we were hearing finally on the CBC. There's some decent coverage about this. Enough people are going, oh wait, COVID is a big deal. You know, that's finally we're getting some actual.
It took a long time.
It took a long time
for them to
people
be skeptical
Yeah.
about the herd immunity thing. You know, like we were laughing about it right
well,
from the get-go.
we thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Is what. Anyway, what James means to say, I think. But
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean to say. I understand. It's like very bitter laughter.
yeah, it's sadness. I mean, it's the kind of laughter where you go, either you laugh or you cry, and really you're thinking crying, but I can't be there, or anyway. So they're talking about now how what was it? Something like, what was the number? It was ridiculous. How many
38,000 new cases
people? Something like that, yeah.
in one day.
And they're saying, well, the actual number is probably 10 times as high.
The number.
You know, which is, so now they're actually recognizing the fact that the testing's inadequate. They don't have it under control at all. And
they're opening things up.
They're
This is
opening
the
things
main
up.
reason why it's going crazy.
Yeah.
They're opening themselves up for business, and it's just.
And Alberta's opening things up.
Ontario,
And bringing
which
people
is
from Texas in. So, yeah.
I'm afraid Trump is going to get on his high horse and say, you know, you've got to open up the border, or else. And there'll be people crying, you know, open it up, you know. And you just don't know what sort of, you know, if we say no way, what kind of crazy measures he'll take to punish us for being responsible to our own citizens, and really responsible to the world. You know,
who's being responsible to their own citizens? I'm not seeing it.
Okay. We've been more
Alberta?
responsible than we've been more responsible than Americans. But yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, there's we've been irresponsible here in Canada, Justin Trudeau. But you know, like there's a
Not we. I think
there's a
you need to point out who exactly.
Okay.
I mean, we're being very responsible, you and I.
exactly.
So.
Yeah, we have to.